Welcome to Shardcast, the Brandon Sanderson podcast. We're a bunch of mega fans giving you the news discussion and, of course, a whole lot of opinions about Brandon's works and the Cosmere. I'm Eric, and joining me is Ian.
Hey, I'm Weiry, and I have a lot of stuff to show off because I have all of the things for the Cosmere RPG, including these like very nice booklets for some of their like theoretically e-supplements.
That's not the same thing, Evgeni.
That's D&D. So like I got like they have like this map folio with like all the maps from like Stonewalkers. So like they're all like 8.5 by 11. So like there are some that are like one sheet double-sided. There's like double ones that are double-sided, and then like there's one or two that are super big that pulled out to quadruple size. But those are spoilers, so I'm not going to show those off. You have little cardboard tokens for everything. Yeah, we have the dice. Show off the liquid core.
Liquid. Is that going to work at all?
Shiny.
We got to put it to my forehead. Oh no! This is not working at all.
Well, that's why you got to do the old like.
Oh, the glitter! You can see the glitter in there.
Yeah, it moves. It moves. It's actually really cool, guys.
Yeah, it is really cool. So those are the fancy dice. We have a GM screen that has some art on it and info for people running the game.
Go look at our Cosmere RPG episode where we show off a lot of the art. It's very good.
There's like a normal dice set that comes with, or at least I got 3 plot dice. I have a Stormlight, Lifelight, and Voidlight themed dice.
These are good.
There's a whole bunch of cards. So like there's a Mistbrand that has cognitive realm and physical realm depictions.
I do like the spread cards a lot.
That's fantastic.
There's like item cards that have
the
info.
Lifelight dice are so cool. They're so cool.
Yeah. There's like plot decks for like opportunities and complications that have like art, and then like different options for like the 3 types of scenes. So like combat, conversations, and endeavors. And then there's like the books themselves, which are like
good.
Very pretty with. Let's see.
The books
Fun fact: they are printed on real gold.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they have to be. Anything not set in metal is not to be trusted.
Yeah.
So like, there's art, so much art. There's the World Guide, which has so much. I'm going to show off. I think we already. The Celebrant that Marie did.
Woo!
Yeah, Marie. We love Marie. And then the Stormlight Handbook itself, which I spent some time flipping through the PDF.
Mm-hmm.
I did not conceptualize how thick this book was going to be. There's a lot of content here.
This is thick. And there's here you got the 2 like this is huge.
The colorized Shalon sketchbook pages. It's just like a lot of effort went into this.
A lot. It is a high effort product. None can deny the high effort.
We do like books you can do some real damage with.
We
like
the best kind.
We are the Brandon Sanderson fandom. we enjoy that.
Yeah, like actually picking up miniatures. More Stormlight Premium miniatures for a spectrum of things. And I think there also the regular dice came in a bag. I think that's everything.
Wow. Amazing. Also joining us is Evgeni.
Hi, I'm also here. I am Argent, and I have very little show and tell.
Because you don't have your set of the Stormlight RPG.
Because I don't have mine. Yeah, I don't, which is very unfortunate. But I spent the last, at this point, it will be a little time ago, but I spent essentially all of September in various places in Europe. Not a lot of places, but one of those places was Scotland. I went to Edinburgh. where I met up
Represent.
with. Here, I can actually show you with whomst I met up with. If you are looking at the video,
What?
I met up with this guy.
You know what's great is that the podcast frame has his head cut off, in the actual overlay, which honestly I think fits ideally with Marvin. Honestly,
He is just that tall.
he's
I can
really
vouch for
tall,
that.
guys. Is Marvin taller or is Brandon taller? Because I think Brandon's is taller.
No, I think
mean,
Marvin is. I would think Marvin.
Probably pretty close, if I had to
it
guess.
is difficult to judge from where I am.
So far down.
Yes. But yeah, so I met up with resident podcaster and admin and dev Marvin, aka Paleo.
Wow.
And we spent a few days in Edinburgh and a few days in and around London, where we also met with Overlord Jeebus. And we had a fun time. But while we were in Scotland, we did a little Scotch tasting experience, and they gave us little Glencairn glasses,
Oh,
which is you would expect from a Glencairn glass. So that's my show and tell.
sure. Of course, it'd be booze related. That makes sense.
Well, I don't like that I've built a reputation, so I'll just sip from my cocktail.
I like how it's phasing into the universe. I like that a lot, actually.
It is made
Fantastic.
from anti-reality.
Okay. Last but not least, we have Bonnie.
Hi, I'm Cosmeregirl. And I don't have a fancy show and tell, but I guess I can take my mug, which I did not plan to show off. Is I did a little Cosmere mug.
Oh.
Love it.
It's a little older now, but got one more page. And I've
That's
got
cute. That's
Nice.
cute.
I've got Warm Again on the side.
Oh, okay.
Inside.
That's cute. That's cute.
I'm not gonna dump out my water here, but I have Tell Me a Story. So
Nice.
I like to think that this episode outline is your show and tell.
Yeah, it's true.
There it is.
It's true. And I'm Eric. And today, everyone, we are going to talk about dragons in the Cosmere. Spoilers for up through Emberdark. That's important.
Yeah.
Armorgerd Durgan's.
Yeah.
Now, before we get into dragons into Cosmere,
Okay.
we have to talk about dragon-related things and Brandon-related things in the real world.
Okay.
Little bit of fandom history for those of you who have been around for not the last 10 years.
Oh, are you going to talk about Zabanus?
No, I'm not
Oh,
going to talk
okay.
about Zabaneth. It's very amusing. We're peek behind the curtain. We're recording this on October 5th. On October 9th, 2015, which some of you may remember as the week Shadows of Self was released.
Yes.
Brandon was a guest on a talking head. He was a guest as a talking head on a History Channel documentary.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes, I know. Now I know exactly what you're talking
called
about.
True Monsters. And in honor of this, he recreated the iconic Ancient Aliens guy meme as Dragons guy meme that we are now putting on screen.
We are absolutely putting that on screen.
Yeah, we gotta do that.
100%. That's good. I
Yeah.
haven't thought about that in a while. That one's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it happened a decade ago.
Yeah.
And
I was like
also,
scrolling back through like the 17 Shard like news articles, like trying to find it. Because like I know we did a news article about this, and we did. I wrote it.
I didn't
And
remember.
like,
we
then I
did
looked
that.
at today. I'm like, oh,
Remember
this
when we
was
wrote news
long.
articles, guys?
that's one of the reasons why I became staff was to write news articles.
Yeah. I mean, to be
Different
fair,
times.
Brandon's site actually posts the news, so that helps.
Yes.
yeah.
well,
Yeah, they are actually good about posting about things now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Better. Yeah.
Lovely. Should that just be the thumbnail? Maybe not. But
I thought about it. I think no.
We should,
But what if though?
what if we A/B test it? Because you can do that with them.
We have the
Why not?
technology.
It's maybe not the best idea. Anyway, on a more serious note, dragons in the Cosmere have always been part of the plan. Brandon's company is called Dragonsteel, and his thesis was Dragonsteel. His very first thing was White Sand, but Dragonsteel was really where a lot of the Cosmere stuff was kind of coming together. And so dragons have always been a part of this all, but we just haven't really seen them for quite some time because Mistborn and Stormlight, it's not really relevant.
Yeah. They get mentioned in Warbreaker technically.
Technically.
When Tertullier
Yes.
gets referenced as a dragon's nest, which Brandon was asked about, and is like, yeah, dragons are relevant.
They,
And then he didn't explain more.
well, I think he said something, and this may be later, but he did say something to the effect of dragons like to seed stories about themselves throughout the Cosmere, so that if essentially if they ever show
That's
up,
in Emberdark.
no, we had a WAB or annotation to that effect before the Emberdark. Confident.
it was in Trust.
That makes more sense. Yeah. Because that is true. But it's much more recent than the
Okay.
thing.
We're not gonna do a research break, but you will have to believe me when I say that we knew something to this effect prior, like out of canon, out of books.
Which is why some of us, notably me, believed Edgley, the vessel of endowment, was a dragon.
Hey, look, at least Brandon recanted on there only being one dragon.
Only
vessel.
one dragon, yeah.
Bad idea.
Now we have two. Two confirmed. We don't. Yeah.
Mhm.
And kind of as we went along, we really didn't have much dragon stuff. We knew Frost was a dragon. That is who Hoyd wrote the letter to in Way of Kings, and we got the response in Words of Radiance. And so this is kind of the most dragon lore that we had, really, for a long time.
The old reptile letter.
Yes.
Yeah, it's for probably longer than a decade, we knew there were dragons in the Cosmere that we would see eventually.
Yep.
They just never showed up.
Yep.
Or at least never showed up in a guise visible as dragons.
Out of curiosity, when is the earliest WAP that mentions dragons?
You can take a look on wab.coppermine.net, everyone, and use the advanced search tools.
Which is what I am doing right now.
That's right.
There's a lot of wobs in there for people
There's
asking when
16,000
dragons.
lobs, in fact.
I went through a lot of dragon wobs.
Okay.
There are a ton in there where people are asking when are dragons going to show up.
Uh-huh.
Yes, there was a period in fandom history when we really wanted to see some dragons.
Yep. And I think the first time we really saw, it wasn't quite dragons in full, but we had the Traveler reading, which was set right after Mistborn Era 1, which was Hoyd talking to Frost. And that was very interesting.
Although neither was named.
Yeah. Pseudo canonical thing that was released for the Jordan Con
2018
anthology 1 year.
Yes. Yes.
So it's not official canon, but presumably something along these lines happened.
Yeah, maybe not those exact lines, right? So go check that out, and go check out our Traveler episode if you have no idea what that is, because it is actually really cool. Go check that out.
You can also read The Traveler on wab.coppermine.net.
All of them will be on the links in the description.
I don't know why this episode has turned into our canon
Advertising our
promo
own
episode.
stuff, yes. We usually don't plug Arcanum nearly as much. I guess we do in any WoB episode, but
I will before we move on. 2009 is when we get our. There's a bunch of stuff about Dragonsteel, and here there be dragons. But the first WoB about dragons comes from 2009 on Twitter.
Sure. When he's answering things on Twitter, when Twitter was good.
Yes. When there was a little initiative, hashtag tweet the author, and Fifenir asked, do you think you'll ever include dragons in your books? And Brandon says, Dragonsteel, a series I'll do someday, has dragons in it. Hint, the world/series is very important to Hoid.
I mean, I think we kind of knew a bit of that from the Hero of Ages Time Waster's Guide Q&A, where he did talk about how, like, Dragonsteel is in there. Pretty sure.
And, like, the whole thing is Brandon explicitly didn't want to do the traditional fantasy, Tolkien-esque fantasy races of, like, elves and dwarves and orcs in the Cosmere. His one exception was like, no, I'm going to have dragons though.
Because dragons are cool. And as we've seen, they are very cool, actually.
Why do fantasy if you're not going to give yourself dragons?
Exactly. Like, he's described fantasy as like, you can do literally anything you can in any other genre, plus you can have dragons. So of course he's going to have dragons.
And then Dragon's Blood by Jane Yolen was a big inspiration to Brandon. And so that's why Yolen is named after Jane Yolen. Very cool. And so we didn't get dragons for a long time, and I didn't think we would see dragons maybe until like Dragonsteel even. I don't know. And then we got the secret projects, and then Tress is just like, hey, what's up? I'm like, oh, this is very cool. We got a lot of info in that about dragons and the dragon, life cycle. And then Emberdark came out, and then we realized why Brandon was talking so much about dragons, because he had written Emberdark. So just like that time where he really blabbed on a stream about Aethers, it's like, I really cracked Aethers and lost metal and trust. Like, oh.
That's why, yeah.
So we're suspicious of him blabbing about anything now extensively that there is in something.
Yeah, whenever he's like really brings up something out of nowhere and continues to talk about it a lot, probably a sign of what he's writing, or has
something's cooking. That said, he would need to blab about anything these days. So
it's true. There's been no streams, nothing. So let's talk, I guess, about the dragon life cycle, where we got that in our 2023 Brandon interview, but also Emberdark, because Starling, we saw it, which is very cool. They start like people. They're always dragons, though. Emberdark makes that clear. She always thinks of herself as a dragon. Sorry, Secret Dragon fans, of course. But then at about 30, they transform into their dragon form. They age quite slowly, as you might imagine. They're a very long-lived race. So
there are still mechanical questions of, they start in humanoid form.
Yeah.
There's just some practical questions I have.
Are you saying some biomechanical questions, not like mechanical?
Yeah, I was like,
sure.
Go ahead and let's tackle these questions, Ian. Go ahead and ask your biomechanical questions about the dragons.
When do the dragon parents do it? Do they do it in dragon form? Do they do it in humanoid form?
Is it problematic if they do it in the wrong form and then transform into the other one? Right?
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
It's like,
I'm with you here.
Does the mother lay an egg that hatches into a baby, or is she stuck in humanoid form for 9 months? Is it 9 months?
It could be much longer or much shorter. Who's to say?
Oh my goodness, please don't talk to me about longer pregnancy.
If you live thousands
9
of
months
years,
is
though,
a
it's just a
long
blink of
time.
an eye, Bonnie.
Okay, but
I'm sure.
what if it was just an egg, like an ostrich egg?
It's true.
Technically, they give birth in humanoid form. We know that.
Oh, they
That's true.
do? Okay.
Yeah, we know that.
We do know that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. No, so metatextually, this is Brandon we're talking about. He is going to go with the because so much of the dragon reproductive cycle is like humanoid centric.
Sure.
I'm gonna go with the answer Brandon's gonna go with is going to be they have to like the whole lizard stuff is out of the door for like the purposes of childbearing and child conceiving and being a child.
Okay, but can we talk about how frustrating it would be to be a dragon but not be able to do a dragon form for however long you're pregnant for?
I actually think that a pregnant dragon mom. This is where we're going.
Look,
on
this is
episode.
important here.
This
That is very
hard
frustrating.
getting interrogative discussion.
Journalism.
Yes.
Like, this is actually important. If you
I
are
think
stuck,
that they can transform into dragon form. I think the dragon baby would be fine. And it would like spiritual mumbo jumbo, it'll be fine. I don't know.
I'm gonna headcanon this because otherwise that's
Yeah, no, I think
incredibly
that would suck. I think that would suck.
Yeah,
Because
that would be
Starling
miserable.
feels so imprisoned not being able to transition to dragon form, right? Like
She does, but she's also been stuck in this form for like 50 years.
Yeah, I still think it's a dragon freedom thing that you would probably that would be an important part of how you see yourself, that you have these two forms, and not being able to transition would be a problem.
I can accept some like magical shenanigans where your pregnancy carries over between forms.
The child transitions to the spiritual realm and you summon it back like a shark.
Yeah, you just put the child
Spiritual
in a
realm.
little spiritual
Yeah,
pocket.
sure.
or is it
Yeah.
spiritual realm.
Or like the dragons, we'll talk about the abilities, but the dragons are channeling power from the spiritual realm, and so yeah. There's no additional explanation. It's just that noise, by the way. That explains it, obviously.
That's the pure tone.
You're speaking what is it here? It's draconic. Was it ancient religious draconic?
Yes.
What is this? Yolish religious draconic.
Yeah.
And it's all spiritual mumbo jumbo. Yes, that's right.
Mhm.
Very good. So yeah, I think the pregnant dragon moms would be able to transition.
This is important.
Yes. Yes. What if you're a pregnant dragon mom and you go to Silverlight and you got to transform into the dragon form to get up to the top of the skyscrapers? Okay? That's clearly expected.
Surely they are understanding of.
That's a good point. I'm like getting frustrated about this now.
They have humanoid entrances.
This is why, yeah. I don't know.
Sorry, you're pregnant. You have to use the elevator.
Ask your doctor. If you're pregnant, you're not allowed. So there is this question about the transformation where like Starling's absorbing the light in the prologue.
Yeah, it's like the dawn of your 30th birthday. You absorb the light of the rising sun, and that activates your transformation. So yeah, it's like, what if you're not on Yolen for your 30th birthday?
Yeah, because there's also a reference to the Great Star of Yolen, and like, I guess the Great Star is a glowing hole in the atmosphere, so it's not actually the sun's light.
It's not the star. Yeah, it's not
Okay.
the sun.
Not to be confused with the regular star, which is something providing the light. The Great Star
The
is
regular star of Yolen. No.
different. Yeah.
Mhm.
Which the regular star of Yolen may or may not be invested. It's created by Analysium. It could be whatever it wants to be.
Yeah. The way Starlink's prologue is written, it kind of, I mean, she talks about first dawn, and so that suggests regular, star dawn to me. I don't know if that's important in any capacity. I'm not really vibing with the idea that the Yolish star is invested in the same way that the Taldane one is.
Would you like the idea that maybe we have so many dawn related things because of this? Get first dawn shard.
No.
Okay, great, cool.
Like the other thing I have is we know time dilation is a thing in the Cosmere. Notably in Silverlight, where a lot of dragons hang out. How is it your personal time 30 years? Is it
it's gotta be
universal time on Yolen?
It's got to be in your local reference frame. It has to be. That's the only thing that makes sense. Though I guess you could say spiritual mumbo jumbo and getting that from
spiritual mumbo jumbo.
That is fair.
It's valid.
Are you born and then there's a hard coded date in the Cosmere when it happens?
No,
or, does it shift around?
It's got to be a maturity thing.
Yeah.
And
if that's the case, always on your 30th birthday, there's not any fluctuating for people to mature at different rates.
I want to say that they're, again, metatextually, I want to say that Brandon is not going to get pinned down on 30 Yolish years after the day of your birth is when you transform.
Cosmere standard.
Right?
Cosmere standard, guys. Not Roshar.
But the reason why I think it makes sense for it to be hard coded. For it to be this immutable thing. That's not really biology. It's just magic law because of how they were made by Adenalsium.
Yeah.
To be these special things. So it's there is this is how it works. You have 30 years and then the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even convinced it's 30 years for everyone. And I don't really have a good basis for that. Other than it just seems like a weird arbitrary cutoff that it's difficult to write stories around. It works once, but once you start digging into it, it's okay, well, does every dragon, exactly 30th birthday? What if they're born somewhere else, right? Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's it has to be some symbolic, thematic, metaphorical day of reaching adulthood or whatever.
Yeah, because I don't think it can vary.
Based on this, Starling knew to the day when to expect it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Starling.
Yeah, but why if it could vary, let's say it could vary. It's not always your 30th birthday. But then you wouldn't know where, you would know it's around your 30th birthday. So if Frost was a decent uncle, he'd be hey, it may not happen today. We don't know when it's going to happen. But no, it's definitive, your 30th birthday.
I was thinking more as they start approaching their next birthday, they might get a sense of, okay, so for Starling, it's going to be 30th. For some other dragons, it may be the 31st or the 29th or the 32nd. And as they are approaching it, and those around them can tell, oh, you're reaching adulthood, your next birthday, because birthdays
but still, even that's weird if it's hard-coded to birthday.
But perception is magic.
Yeah, that's why it can always just be your 30th birthday.
I could see keeping it as 30th birthday, but then if for whatever writing reason it needed to be different, I could see making up excuses for why it's different.
I think it does still need to be 30 years, but up to time dilation in their local reference frame for maturity.
Yeah,
I think that
I
has
would
to be
lean
the
towards
case.
30 years, but if for whatever reason it needed to be different, it could be.
But what does a year mean when you're in Silverlight?
Well,
Exactly.
that's why I think it needs to be local time. It's local time. And you know what? You need to do math to figure out when your 30th birthday is. to change with the calendars.
I agree that
okay?
local time makes sense. I agree with that. But Silverlight does, like, a year is defined by the orbit of the planet around the star. Silverlight is not orbiting around anything. And so
they'll probably have
to-
Cosmere clocks that magically do this crap for us. So we don't have to do the math.
But that's arbitrarily chosen by individuals who've gone like, oh, we're going to choose the Yolish year as the
Yeah, I see what you
Cosmere
mean.
standard year. And
Oh,
we're
because
going
the
to use
dragons
that
chose it.
here. Yes.
Yeah, like Silverlight would absolutely use Yolish stuff.
Yeah.
Like their day is based on a Yolish day. Like I fully believe that. It's just going to be distinct from Yolin proper.
Yeah.
Yes. And so if Silverlight, so a dragon is born in Silverlight, and they have to wait 30 Yolish years, aka 30 Cosmere standard years in Silverlight before they can assume their draconic form. In the local Silverlight frame of reference, right?
Yes.
But if that dragon is born elsewhere on a different planet, then 30 Yolish years are not going to be 30 local years
No,
in
of
all
course not.
likelihood.
Yeah, no, of course. That's fine. What's the problem? Yes, it's going to be confusing to calculate if you're like, I went to Scadrial, and then I went to Yolin for a year, and then I went to Silverlight for a year. Like, yeah, have fun calculating that, but yeah, like it would be local to the local time.
So if Silverlight adopts a different calendar, will dragons...
No. It's still the amount of time. It's just the time you experience, Evgeni. So like that rate of time dilation can be whatever. Like it doesn't matter. It only matters when you convert from between. Like if you're like, I'm born August 30th in this year, and that's plus 30 years. Well, yeah, if you're going into different places where time flows differently, then yeah, that's going to be hard to convert. It's just a conversion thing.
So if you are a dragon that's born on Cell, let's say Cell has a year that is twice as long as the Yolish one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All your friends are going to be 15, and you're going to think you're 15, but you're going to turn into dragon because that's 30 Yolish years.
No, the other way around.
Yeah.
Other way around. Right.
60, whatever.
No,
Are you saying
he's
time
right.
is twice as fast on Cell?
No, like Eric, he's not talking about time dilation right now. He's talking like literal length of the year.
Yes.
Oh no, no, it's no. Okay. No, it's literally going to be some amount of minutes from birth. Where a minute is defined as some amount. And so yes, if you're on a different planet with a different radius, that you just have to do the conversion. Yeah.
Okay, then at some point that is equivalent to 30 Yolish years.
Yes. Yeah, right. In your local reference frame. Yeah.
First dawn after that point, I guess.
Yeah.
What if you're born later in the day? I don't know.
Look, the more we try to science this, the more I think that the true answer is going to be some arbitrary, hey, it doesn't make sense. It has to make story sense, not science sense.
Yeah, which is why I fully believe Aiden Alzium made dragons this way and is like, and looked into the future. So it's like, oh, people are going to hate this. It's going to be so confusing to them. I don't care. This is how it works.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So question,
Aiden
does the
Alcium is
dragon-
screwing you over in particular, Evgeni.
Hate it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Does
yeah.
the dragon have to be on Yolan to transform?
Yeah,
the
that's
first
a good
transformation?
question, right?
Because it's the first dawn. Does it have to be the Yolish sun?
Does it have to be a place where there is sun?
Like, it is interesting. First dawn struck her, and she absorbed the light. It became part of her, and the self that had been hidden within Starling these 30 years emerged, glorious and radiant. Like that.
That really
You
reads to me
could-
like investiture.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, like this. Going back to Dawn Shard, the book,
Good. Good.
Okay.
there's the whole thing about Cheery needing to go back to Amia.
Oh.
Yeah, but
That's a
wasn't
good
that
point.
wasn't that tied to a specific type of
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
a specific spread,
mantra.
though.
It is, but like there's some dragoniness to
You got to go
the,
home
the
to Yolan.
Larkin
Yeah.
and the Lancerin.
Imagine being like 100 years old or something and then going to Yolan to visit, being like, oh, cool, this happened now.
So like I could see it being part of the dragon like life cycle. Like this has to happen on you
Mhm.
for like different reasons, like different mechanical reasons than with the Larkin, but for similar reasons.
Yeah.
Effectively, it's a similar situation.
I could probably accept that more than, trying to convert 30 years and account for time dilation and for different year length.
I mean, you still have to convert it if you're on a different calendar to Yolish standard calendar and time dilation. You would still have to do that.
Yes, but that feels like less of a stretch to me. Because you have
Why?
this one fixed point, right? Because you have to go back. And maybe it's, I think Bonnie said, maybe it is the first dawn after your 30th birthday, right? And so if you go back to Yolan when you are 100, you've spent 100 years as a humanoid. And then on the first morning, bam, you're a lizard.
I feel like they'll intrinsically know when it's time to be ready, right? That seems like a thing that would
Yeah,
be
like
in there,
what if
right?
they're locked in prison?
Yeah,
and like can't get there
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
Yeah, I think they know.
Yeah, I think like culturally speaking, like it would be a thing. Like every dragon works to make sure like the dragonettes get back in time for.
And they are connected too.
True.
I don't know to
That's
what
true.
extent, but they might know that, or they might recognize that this is going on.
I mean, that also gets into, do they have access to the spirit shores when they are dragonettes, right? Because that gives you the ability to have, even if you are, locked in a cage or whatever, you have the ability to access the entire draconic well of knowledge.
So you could also ask that about their sleep cycle, though, is what does their sleep cycle look like before they turn 30?
They don't. I assume it's the same as after, in that they don't sleep, they meditate.
Is it
Yeah.
usually after 30 they go to the spirit shores, I think. Time to recharge stores of investiture, to gaze upon their fallen elders, and to meet with family members.
Yeah, but
And then
that's not
if you-
tied to the. Oh, are you talking about how all the dragons we see in the spirit shores are in their draconic form? And so what happens if you die when you were 20?
Oh, no. I mean, the fact that we're talking about whether they have access to the investiture in the spiritual realm. Because when they sleep, they go into a meditative slumber, specifically to gaze on their fallen elders, talking about the spirit shores. And Starling is recognizing that hers is different because it means darkness when she has the manacles on.
Yes, but she is still sustained by the spiritual realm, right? The manacles that she has restrict her from going to the spirit shores, but she is still connected to the spiritual. Like she is still sustained by
Mhm.
that.
It's just like locked some abilities away, right?
Yeah, because like even like before their first transformation, like they're still not human. Like
Yeah.
like we haven't talked about it yet, but like developmentally, when Starling is 30, she's the equivalent of an 8-year-old ish human girl.
Yeah.
So like there's definitely biological things that are setting them apart from humans.
Yeah.
So I assume like the sleeping, like the not sleeping rather, like the trancing applies before or after first dawn.
And I would also assume that dragon babies are not going to be easily killed. Like, I feel like that's just going to be a thing that, like, if you tried to, you know, murder a dragon baby, they'll just be like, hey, that's cute.
Can you imagine a baby with access to the spiritual realm, though?
Well, you know, the dragon elders will have to deal with that. It's like, I can put my hand on a hot stove. That's just fine. For sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they have to deal with it much longer, too. Have fun with that.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just imagine like if a baby is threatened, like their cries kind of get broadcasted to like any dragon nearby, and like all of those dragons are going to come looking like, what's going on? Why is this baby crying?
Yeah, there's also probably that aspect. Yeah.
So they're tough to kill, and also culturally speaking, got a lot of protectors.
Yes. Well, because wasn't there even the thing that if like Starling just like fell into the Emberdark, that the dragons would eventually get her? So,
you know, after a few centuries.
So I could imagine there's a thing where the dragons culturally are like, let's get the dragonets back to Yolan at age 30, and we are going to make sure that happens. It's like, okay, that's totally plausible.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I think we are pretty confident in the answer, but Brandon's talked about how the dragons are shapeshifters, and there's a question as to how much they can shapeshift. And like how much control do they have over their forms? Though the interview made it just seems like they just have two forms.
Yeah, but like there's a line in Emberdark, I believe, when Starling is describing Xysis when she meets him, that like implied some level of flexibility. Of like him,
you're talking about something about this is his preferred form or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. That's interesting.
We only see him in dragon form in Tress. We only see him in human form in Emberdark.
I know there was a line talking about he was in human form because only the human form would fit in apartments.
No, it's something else.
It's probably also hard to play a piano as a dragon form.
Well, he's got a long time. He can figure it out.
He probably would too.
In the chapter where we see Xysis,
I think
don't
it's
see
literally
preferred
like
form, but
maybe not preferred, but like literally when like he's first described as an old man.
Okay, he had ebony skin with a cool sheen like the polish on the piano, no hair. He liked the bald look, and indeed, it did go stylishly with the suit.
Okay, so that doesn't actually tell us. It's possible that he shaves his head. It's possible that this is his form and he just likes it. It's possible that there is a small measure of control that dragons have over their physical form, and he can choose to manifest a bold look. He can choose to manifest luscious locks, or it's also possible that they have a wider range of control over their physical form, and it is just. But I feel like, based on how they talk about shapeshifting, I feel like it's just they have like it's two sides of the same coin. You can't turn it into a different coin, right?
Yeah.
So you have a human form. Maybe there's a small like variation because like Frost appears as like an elderly bearded man in the He's described in
Is
the
that
Traveler,
where the
isn't he?
preference is?
That might be.
I think he's described also
He
as
is
an
described
old
in
man,
there.
as a which semi-canonical and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Uh,
How
Or
old
his
is
human
he
form.
described in Dragonsteel Prime?
He's still pretty old then in Dragonsteel Prime.
he's also old, yeah.
He wore his human form, which had pale skin and a sharp silver beard just on his chin, bound in cords extending a good 8 inches. He took the appearance of an older man. So there you go.
Mm.
like, I
Maybe
could
in
ki-
his 60s, though that could be deceptive for their kind.
Yeah, like I could kind of see it as like they have one human form, but like they have some flexibility there. It's like
Mhm.
they can't make it a different human form, but they
Yes.
within the boundaries, like they can
So-
adjust it.
It's the same human. That human can manifest with facial hair or without facial hair,
Mhm.
for example.
So I would agree based on how it's reading, but they're also very highly invested too.
Yeah, like I was just thinking about like the returned and how they can like change
Exactly.
how they appear. I wouldn't be surprised if like their dragon form is more like solid, that they can't really like shape that much. Like the lizard form, to be clear. And the human form has a bit more variation if you know what you're doing. That seems reasonable to me.
I like that because yes, returned can shapeshift, but like they can't turn into a different person.
Yeah.
I mean, Vasher and the Warbreaker look like different people.
And if we're talking about Hoyd, obviously Hoyd is Hoyd, but he can completely change how he looks with investiture. And same deal with Rashi Isles.
Oh, the king.
Ralna?
Yes.
Ralna.
Yeah, but he literally transforms.
I don't know. Definitely he took the appearance of an older man. I do think leads to there is at least variance that you can have.
That does seem implied. I don't like that because it makes it kind of suggests that their humanoid form is a little bit secondary to their draconic form. Like if we're saying their draconic form is their like true form and their human form has a little fuzz to it, then even if we're not saying true form, like if we're saying their draconic form is fixed and their humanoid form is a little fuzzy, then that implies some level of like secondarity to their humanoid form, which I don't like, when so much of Emberdark tells us that these are creatures with two equally valid forms.
I wouldn't be surprised if some dragons culturally are like, the lizard form is the true one. Like, yeah, we'll go into human form and things, but I don't know.
And it could also be like the fuzziness. Like I could see like there also being fuzziness in the dragon lizard form. It's just
Maybe.
like the fuzziness that is available for them to fuzz is just not as varied as it's like, oh, like, yes, I'm going to make my horn slightly longer. But it's just like there's not as much variation intrinsically.
Reading wise, I definitely agree with the two sides of a coin, just how it reads. But I think mechanically and the specific phrasing he chose to take the form suggests that, it's possible to have the changes.
Yeah. I do still just think they're not going to be able to appear like a totally different person, but
they'd always be recognizable as them.
if you knew what to look for, right? Yeah.
And like, I don't think like Frost like usually presents as like an elderly man. I don't think he could like appear as a child. Like,
Yes,
I don't think there's that much variation.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I
like,
think I think the age of the humanoid form and the draconic form the ages are going to be like relatively comparable. Frost is an old dragon. He's going to appear as an old human.
It's like an old spirit.
Yes, but
right?
he's the same age as Xysis roughly, and Xysis doesn't show up as an old man. And like he also showed up as an old man in Dragonsteel, which again, not canonical yet. But
he's been an old dude for a long time.
Yeah. Once you're an adult, like you're going to have like an adult form. Like you can skew a little younger, you can skew a little older, or you can like have like if you like give yourself like silver hair, you're going to look older.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. Like there's like superficial things that can like make you seem younger or older.
Yeah.
On top of like actual age.
So we've kind of referred to this somewhat, but let's just talk about draconic abilities, right? They're fed through the spiritual realm, so they don't need to eat, and so they're built to last. They're very hardy.
It's like I'm drawing this from the Kung Fu Panda movies.
Okay.
It's like the dragon warrior can like consist on like the water from like a single leaf of dew and like the energy of the universe. I'm like,
yes.
Yeah, dragons are the same way. Universe juice can just sustain them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's similar to the Weiry fortress being plugged into the door.
A little bit.
You have a hose that plugs into you from the spiritual realm, and that is your energy, that is your sustenance, that is your investiture,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's kind of similar to how Lyft operates. When we talk about Lyft eating and, it's not quite the same, but it's similar-ish.
Yeah, I think that's a little tenuous.
Heralds, I think, or fused might actually be a closer comparison.
Yeah, because they're drawing. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like directly, or like allomancy, you're drawing directly from the shard.
Yeah.
Whereas like Lift, like she is actually metabolizing the food into investiture.
Yeah.
That does beg the question for me of Adonalsium made the dragons, plugged them into himself.
Mm-hmm.
To like fuel their biology. When Adonalsium died, all of his investiture was assigned to a shard.
Yes.
What about the bits the dragons plug into?
Yeah, it does seem like it's generic spiritual stuff. So like, it's probably like it doesn't matter for them. I can imagine Adonalsium probably saw the future, that he knew that this would happen, and he could design certain things.
I know, like the cognitive realm is made of investiture. I would be hard pressed to like point to a piece of the cognitive realm and say this piece of investiture is associated with valor.
Sure, yeah, that's a little
right.
Yeah,
like once we go into the other realm, like there's almost like free investiture, and there's also like the stuff of like the unseen is investiture. What is whose shard is the unseen? Like these are like
that is a good
neutral?
point, because it's very specific. Like all of Adonalsium's investiture was divided amongst the shards. That does not include aethers, from what we understand.
Oh.
So it's like, yeah, like there could just be free investiture floating around. The thing is, for the longest time, we thought Adonalsium was the only source of investiture.
Yeah,
which still might be true,
but
potentially.
I don't know. I think that's wrong. I think that doesn't hold anymore, at least not to the extent that we once knew, because Adonalsium might be all of the investiture. Adonalsium is not all of the Cosmere.
And like, I don't think the shattering it doesn't seem like the shattering changed the cognitive realm or spiritual realm kind of mechanically. Like it kind of seems like from what the dragons are saying, it's like, yeah, we had our floating city, we had Silverlight in some form, right? And like maybe there were changes, right? But it's just kind of interesting that like Ambition's death seems to have more of an effect. But maybe the shattering had more like broad effects that are just like kind of pervasive.
Well, the thing is, Ambition also fought back.
Yeah, well, that's certainly
whereas
true.
Ad Nauseam very pointedly did not in the end.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, what a deep question.
Counterpoint, it's like the shards are infinite. So like, yeah, like maybe you could point at a rock, like this one random rock, and like that is made out of Valor's investiture. Doesn't mean much unless Valor is like here, looks at the rock, and they're like, yeah, she could probably change it into something. But like all of like the random like background that's like not really like connected to the core.
Mm-hmm.
Once a shard is aware of a bunch of their investiture, they can do stuff with it.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
They're not necessarily aware of all of their investiture.
I understand. Yeah.
So I can kind of see like the cognitive realm investiture, like that being sort of like that. Whereas like they could go around like collecting it up, but like it's not concentrated enough to be like worth doing.
I don't even think that's the case. Like when you were talking about, here's a piece of rock, and granted, a piece of rock or a piece of dirt might be a little bit different because while there does exist the matter energy investiture equivalence within the Cosmere, matter is not investiture, right? Matter is not made of investiture any more than matter is made of energy. Like it gets a little tricky, right? You can convert from one to the other, but one is not. They are, you can almost think of it as different expressions of the same like underlying fundamental.
You guys want to talk about quarks and gluons? Does that sound fun? Do you want to talk?
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yes.
Like shard metal.
I mean, quarks are not fields, right? Like fields are entirely separate. Whatever.
Yeah.
And so like I don't think so in other words, I think you can have stuff within the Cosmere that can be converted into investiture that was maybe made of investiture at what point, but is not investiture right now, and therefore is not associated with any individual shard or with Ad Nauseam. Yeah. It's just stuff.
I mean, is the natural state keyed or unkeyed?
Keyed to a shard, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the natural state of investiture? Keyed or unkeyed?
Well, I mean, I think the shattering changed it to the keys, right?
For the stuff
shattering would have been
Nauseam
unkeyed.
was in control of, at least.
So in other words, I think the dragons are just plugged into, the spiritual realm.
Yeah.
And like dragons depleting that source of investiture, as infinite as it is, doesn't actually affect any of the shards in any like measurable or immeasurable. Like it's just, it literally does not touch their wells.
Or like it could be a thing where like Ad Nauseam like splintered him, like splintered off like a section of his power like before the shattering, like as like its own thing. Is like, this is like the well for the dragons, and then like
the old
that
gods
wasn't connected to him.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
For the shattering, so like it wasn't included in the in flavoring of the intents.
Sure.
I don't know. I kind of more think that, say, like Emberdark stuff, the actual unsee, right? It is probably like some vague mixture of a bunch of different shard stuff. It could just be like free investiture that wasn't from that, but like it's just as plausible that it was split up, but like most of this stuff in the other realms are kind of like these mixtures, and it's like yeah, it does seem weird to imagine a shard going into one of the realms and like slurping up the stuff there and using it. Like that does seem weird to me.
Because like there's the thing in Wind and Truth of like, where is Honor's power? It's like, oh, it's everywhere. It's the thing making these visions.
Yeah.
But I think that's unique.
I don't know how unique that is necessarily.
Like my impression was, because like there's a line about like Teravangia says, oh, we've been playing with Honor's power in making these visions, and there's a couple of other lines to similar effect. I think you would have a more difficult time constructing like visions like these in other places. I think it is easier here because of like this higher saturation of the entire shard is effectively available and kind of malleable in this neighborhood.
I could see it if
they're
they're not paying attention to it.
They're not talking about like, you know, molding the spiritual realm itself. They're talking about molding Honor's investiture specifically.
Okay, hold on. So spiritual realm, no actual like location, right?
Yeah.
You don't have location. So what about Yolan's son?
There is no actual location.
But there is, but there's not.
But there is connection.
Location has no meaning in the way it does for the other realms.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean there is no location.
Yeah. So in other words, it gets like, let's say you and I are on different planets, and we are entering the spiritual realm at the same time. By virtue of being on different planets, we will have a stronger connection, which is a spiritual thing, to our respective planets. And so we end up in the spiritual realm anyway, but those stronger connections to different physical locations have to manifest in some capacity, right? So even though we are entering the same realm where location doesn't matter, there is clearly a difference between the quote unquote places, the destinations in which we enter the realm.
Yes. I think connection is the thing that matters. And like if two people on two different planets like have a strong connection, they could show up in the same place, because we see that happen in Wind and Truth with Shallan and Shauna.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, because if two people entered the spiritual realm in different places and they had a strong enough connection, then they could totally. There's like this crossover, right? But I agree with what Evgeni's saying. Like you are like the things you are connected to are often local, and so like that like has a relevance.
Like there's some regionalization in terms of like the things you are connected to.
Mm-hmm.
Like if there's no like overlap in the Venn diagram, like those two people aren't going to interact. But if there is overlap, then like they could.
Okay, so circling back around with the location thing.
Yeah.
So the reason I brought it up is because talking about back to the quote we already did in Lifecycle stuff, that first dawn struck her and she absorbed the light. So what about a connection to Yolan's son being the source of investiture for dragons?
I could also, we haven't talked about it much yet. The spirit shores are a thing.
Yes.
They're in my understanding of the spirit shores it's a persistent vision created by Edenalzium for the souls of dragons to go to.
Or something equivalent to that.
Some construction.
A persistent locale. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So like that could also be like he made this spiritual realm construct for where this is where your souls go when you die. That could also be what they're connected to, like a different part of it for their general being fueled by
Investiture
investiture.
stuff.
Like there's a spiritual realm construct that is the spirit shores and also like the source for all of their dragon-y powerness.
Yeah, that's possible. It's almost like a mini realm.
I mean, I don't think that's necessarily very different from, Teravangian making Carbranth in the spiritual realm. Like, you can make out whatever. Like it's similar in that you can have a persistent thing persist in the spiritual realm, right? Like, you absolutely
Yes.
can do that. That's fine.
I mean, in the same way that you can live in the spiritual realm, right? You are persistent in that way, right?
Sure. But I think the spirit shores are a little different in that all the dragons are connected there, and there is a little more persistence in with the dragons literally persisting there.
And so that's a little bit of Adenalsium sectioned off pre-shattering.
Sure.
There is an interesting philosophical / mechanical question to what the shattering did to these varieties of Adenalsium constructs, right? And so what that means, who's to say? But it is kind of interesting.
Yeah. I mean, my assumption is effectively nothing, right? Because I assume that the Rosharan old gods were unaffected by the shattering. Or at least
I don't
not
think
unaffected,
that's true.
but not unaffected, but not redistributed in any way.
I don't think redistributed.
There's the whole thing was the wind was aligned to honor.
Yeah. So it's
not
weird stuff
necessarily
that.
in volition and personality, but investiture was aligned to honor.
Yeah.
There was an affinity there.
But did that happen when honor showed up on Roshar or with the shattering?
So my read was the exact opposite. I agree that there was an affinity. I think the affinity was softer, more personality, for the lack of a better word, than the wind was created to protect, and honor is or contains the chunk of Adenalsium that was, protecty.
I guess I'm what does it mean for investiture to be you have Adenalsium, it's split into the pieces. Yeah, the shards have those cores, but all the other investiture, that's colored and things in various ways. What does that mean practically? I think it's reasonable that the wind is more associated with honor stuff and that there is that alignment, but it's a spiritual alignment type thing.
Yeah, Brandon has loosely touched on this over the years of what does it mean to be part of a shard? Because it's the Spren were still part of honor, even though they were autonomous. So the three old gods of Roshar could be autonomous while still being part of Adenalsium and affected by the intentioning of the shattering.
As could the other realms, potentially. That
Yes.
is possible. Well, welcome to our barely relevant dragon podcast. But you know what? I don't care. We're going on discussion topics. We have a list of things and quotes, and I don't care. We're going wherever we're going on this show, and I'll label the episode whatever.
Every 15 minutes, we drive by the idea of dragons just to pay our respects, and then
we stop by the spirit shores, and then we go off into the spiritual realm. Yeah, that's what the dragons would have wanted, Evgeni.
Yes.
Well,
let's not turn this into a into the spiritual realm episode.
That is on our list of things to do. And to be honest, I don't know if it'll be soon because it's like, oh, I got to reread Wind and Truth for that. I'm like, I don't want to do that soon. I'll be totally honest.
No, Wind and Truth can wait until 2028.
Yeah.
I thought of another point I wanted to make.
Do it, Ian. Take me.
Okay, it's like going back to Evgeni talking about how it's easier to do like the visions on Roshar because
Yes,
Honor's there.
Good.
And I think that's because Honor is undirected. Like Honor isn't. There's no vessel to step in and say like, no, don't do that with my bits.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think you like the spiritual realm, like if you went into the spiritual realm on Scadrial, unless you were like closely connected to other things, like you would be closest to like the reservoirs that are preservation and ruin. And like you could make a vision out of one of those. Sazed could just go in and like, no, and stop you from doing that.
Yeah. Good. Well, this will be the start to a spiritual realm podcast at some point. It's like, and how is the spiritual realm related to the shattering, and how did that affect the spiritual realm? Good.
Should we spend another 5?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Should we spend another 5 minutes on dragons?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, we might as
yeah.
well.
Let's do our drive by.
Sure. What do you want to talk about, Bonnie?
Well, let's talk about the stuff that dragons could do for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we were trying to do that.
Well, yeah, that's how we landed in the spiritual realm to begin with.
Yeah. They heal themselves, right? That
Connection.
They're connected to the spiritual realm.
Like they're connected to one another and their followers.
Mm-hmm.
Starling was chained. She was manacled. As a result of things that are not relevant for this episode, probably. And those manacles have essentially two like broad effects, right? One of them is they protect her. And the other one, or maybe the thing that like powers this first effect is that these manacles tap into the existing connection that Starling has with spiritual realm, spirituals, whatever, some flavor of the spiritual realm. And instead of essentially redirect that power. So instead of getting to Starling, that all that investiture fuels the manacles.
Mm-hmm.
And so the net effect of that is, one, Starling loses a lot of her powers, and two, that loss strengthens the thing that causes that loss. Do we know they're made of dragon steel, or do we assume they're made of dragon steel? Does anyone remember specifically?
I don't think we know that.
I would assume they're made out of dragon steel or some sort of dragon steel alloy.
Yeah,
like either an alloy or there is dragon steel in them.
Yeah, it feels like the dragons are the ones with the best access to dragon steel.
Yeah, that's valid, I think.
Just literally grows on them,
horns.
Like, I think like they would be using it.
Yeah, it's just anytime I see like indestructible metal, that's where my brain goes.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
Granted, this one has the added benefit of it's plugged into the spiritual realm effectively, and so that's another place indestructibility can possibly come from.
Well, it's also not completely indestructible. We do know that concentrated investiture pointed right at it does damage them.
Yeah, it's not literally in it. Like nothing in the Cosmere is literally immortal, literally indestructible. Right? There are limits to everything.
And even apparently the connection the dragons have to the spiritual realm, it can be severed, but it's extremely difficult and is one of the only ways to kill them. So
yeah, like there's an old wob about like anything is possible in the Cosmere.
Yeah.
Would it take 5 shards working in concert to do it? Maybe.
Yeah.
If we're conceptualizing the manacles as absorbing like her connection, basically, like anything like inbound to her like gets absorbed by the manacles instead. It makes sense that if you shove enough into it, like you're going to overwhelm its capacity to absorb.
Mhm.
I've really been thinking about it as ferrochemical technology, personally. But have we seen metals described as cold before? Like feeling cold
Yes.
around investiture?
In the Sunlit Man,
Ooh.
when they it in fact I think it's bracers as well.
It is
right?
racing. That's true. It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we need the quote.
We might actually need that. Yeah.
While you're looking for that, there is also somewhat of a phase change, cold, like making things colder thing with investiture in
Stormlight.
on Roshar, where like
Hmm.
when you summon shard blades, they're wet with condensation.
Mm-hmm.
When some people swear O's, there's like the glyph made out of frost around them.
Yeah.
So like there is some connection between investiture and temperature.
What's the equation for that? I don't want to know.
The equation is Honor thought this would be cool and just made it happen. This is how it works.
So there is a bit in Sunlit Man about like and we've seen a couple of parallels now between heat and investiture and coldness and like draining of investiture or rapid expenditure of investiture and things like that.
Mhm.
And so in Sunlit Man, in a couple of different places, and here's one of them, there's a bit where Glowing Ice, which is the Cinder King, activates the bracers that have been placed around Nomad's wrists. And as he did, however, a piercing shock of cold swept through him, originating at his wrists. Yada yada. They were leaching body heat right out of him, leaving him frozen, his muscle immobilized. He exhaled, his breath misting. He glared, bastard, and then he falls unconscious. And then there is...
You know, thinking about that,
Yeah,
it does feel weird that his breath is misting.
it does feel a little bit weird, yes. Because that would imply that the ambient temperature has dropped. Which
it happens because your breath is warmer than the surrounding
Yes.
air.
which there's no reason for this to be that way. But you know, the spiritual aspect of coldness dictates that when there is something that's cold, there is a misty breath.
It's connected with the concept of cold, and that doesn't need to be earth cold.
No.
This is the amount of BS we can do here. And honestly, kind of works.
It's magic.
It's magic, and that's okay.
Spiritual cold.
It's spiritually
Your breath
cold.
misses when you're cold, ergo, if your heat gets sucked out of you, you're breathless.
Yeah. You get it. Everyone gets it.
I mean, it does feel like there are some parallels between these bracers and the ones Starlink has.
I wouldn't be surprised if there are similar designs roughly based off the mechanics of ancient dragon technology, right? Like the dragon tech is like maybe better in many respects, but you know, they've been all over the place.
And even if they're not like direct parallels, like similar mechanical, these are, you know, devices that block investiture or redirect investiture or siphon investiture.
Yeah.
So it is
it's like
available to you.
Illusion magic.
Yeah.
light weaving, like no matter where it shows up, it's going to work
kinda samey.
basically the same way.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, like it makes sense for these to be functioning similar, like whether or not there was any knowing influence from one to the other.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they were both trying to do the same thing. This is how it works in the Cosmere.
I would almost bet that a really powerful leech effect will feel similarly.
I believe that.
That's what I'm thinking about this being, or that's how I'm thinking about this. Is it's not necessarily, and I could be wrong here too, but the way I've been thinking about it is it's not necessarily just breaking the connection there. It's leeching something,
Yeah.
and that's why it's called.
I like that a lot.
If that's what's happening too, does that mean that the bracers are, or the manacles in this case, are very highly invested? Because it would have to be leeching a massive amount of investiture to be, keeping Starling from accessing that investiture.
I think it would have to be.
Yes.
I mean,
I don't think it's necessarily keeping all of that investiture.
I think it has to offload
like-
it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd imagine
it's
it have
going
to.
to be like processing it
Circulating
out.
Mm-hmm.
Similar to how like Nightblood it can get full and then leak investiture over time. Like it's not just adding investiture all of the time.
Yeah, and it's probably just like a much more precise way of doing that than Nightblood, where it's just like, yep, leak and black smoke. Like the manacles don't do that, right? So
yeah,
it's probably like there's like a connection to the spiritual realm that's like the outpipe or something.
yeah,
right?
exactly.
I almost think of it that way, right? Instead of keeping the investiture or getting the invested or blocking the investor or whatever, it is the investiture from the spiritual realm comes in and it's like a circuit or like a hole, and it goes out. And so like the manacles themselves are always very highly invested for the purposes of, well, you can't affect them with investiture. You can't affect them with anything. Like they are nigh indestructible. But that investiture is not staying inside. It's circulating.
Like, or it's like it's not staying there for long. Yeah. So it's like there's presumably like some amount of a reservoir that like it can fit inside of itself that is like continuously being drained back to the.
Yeah.
So it's basically what the intensifier is doing is like it's like making it hit capacity. It's filling it faster than it can be drained.
And then it breaks.
So Starling is able to bypass it.
Yeah.
The stuff coming into Starling from the spiritual realm is able to get through.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for bringing up Sunlit Man, though. I'm like, oh, yeah, we do have manacles that do. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Hey.
I should reread Sunlit Man.
I got to reread The Secret Projects for sure. But I also really need to read something non-Brandon. That's also very important for me to do, to be honest. One thing I wanted to talk about ability-wise is that the dragons cannot breathe fire. But they had defenses equally glorious.
Invested laser beam out of their mouth.
I mean, it does say investiture she could release as attacks of her own. So
Plasma breath.
I'm super cool with dragon laser beams from their breath. Like that sounds amazing. I want to see that on screen, man. Like that's yeah.
Put the fire in my laser beams meme on screen.
Dragons with laser beams on their foreheads.
Do we think that the defenses are anything else, or is it mostly investiture laser beams? Do we think?
I think I wouldn't describe them as laser beams, but essentially yes.
Yeah. Part of there are two wolves inside of me.
Wow, kinky.
There is the wolf that wants investiture laser beams. And then there's the other one that asks the questions that, like, if it is just investiture laser beams out of their mouth, why make that different from fire?
Because laser beams are cool.
Because investiture laser beams are awesome.
I don't think they breathe out laser. I think it's more magical than that.
I think it's like a white beam of light. It's like this beam.
I mean, it doesn't even need to be a beam. Like it's it's like a magic retaliatory. I guess that's just retaliation. Like a magical retaliation.
The beams need each dragon color. They got the different colors. They need to have a different beam. Laser beam.
Okay.
It's important.
It's like I love investiture laser beams out of the mouth. I need that to be clear. That if I was writing this, that is what would be the case. I can see that being like it is investiture laser beams, maybe.
So like the intensifier.
An intensifier.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Maybe individual dragons like manifest that in different ways. Like some people like do like the energy bursts from their hands. Like some do laser beams out of their eyes.
The Kamehameha.
Like,
we haven't had that in the Cosmere.
Do a thing with their horns and like a ball like appears between them and it shoots out.
Yes.
And then there's the people that just like shoot it out of their mouth.
I have spent a silly amount of time in the past couple of days fighting dragons, and so I need this.
literally.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be anything as flashy as that. If anything, it made me. Yes, it made me think of Sigil's Dawn Shard, actually, and the way it can protect itself, which I've always imagined as kind of this nebulous, it can just like vaporize people or whatever.
I will just say, with investiture, she could release attacks of her own, and defenses equally glorious. I do kind of picture something pretty flashy. I'll be honest.
Think of how awesome it would look. Think of how good that would look, though.
It does kind of sound like laser beams, doesn't it?
Investiture, it's like investiture plasma beam breath or something.
All right, put it on the next interview doc.
Brandon's not going to tell us about the investiture laser beams.
He doesn't have the balls to talk
until it
about.
happens in book.
I mean, to be fair, I do want to see someone like trying to attack Zysis or someone, have him go into dragon form and just have him go to town on like spaceships.
I need a dragon form. I need that. Yes.
I need that.
I'm imagining Mistborn Era 4 space battle.
Yes.
Dragons don't need to breathe.
They don't need to
theoretically
breathe
because they're directly connected to the spiritual realm.
Easy.
It's already
Just
built
like
in.
dragons
Awesome.
flying through as part of space battle.
The space battles with the shards also fighting, the space battle that I've constantly been talking about on this, and we also have dragons just
There's room for more than one space battle, Eric.
Yeah, but like the
shards aren't going to show up until book 3.
The space battle for the Cosmere.
Yeah, like the big final battle at the end where we have like all the stuff's coming together, the avalanche for all avalanches, and we have Zysis just doing like a super powerful energy blast that just tears through a spaceship and just clawing through. Hell yeah, that's what I want.
An entire fleet of spaceships.
Fleet of dragons. Get them.
Yeah, I'm just imagining
It's so good.
like it's book 1 of Era 4 or Space Era. We don't know if it's going to be Era 4.
It might be Era 5.
It probably will at this stage.
And there's just a scene, and it's like the Malwish fleet, not the Scadrian fleet. They're not all of Scadrial. The Malwish fleet shows up above, like they arrive at Yolen, and then they get readings of ships being launched from the surface, but it's not ships. It's dragons.
It's dragons.
Yes. It like, how good was the Daquara totally wrecking the Malwish? How awesome will it be to have dragons do it? And you know what we also need? We need a moment where Frost goes crazy and he's like, now's the time to act, and he just goes for it.
I'm so ready for that.
Look, you all know us on this podcast. We love people and other creatures just dunking on fascists.
We love that. We love that on this show for sure. But now the commenters from the Wind and Truth stuff are like, you guys are just inventing fan fiction and you'll be disappointed. I'm like, you know what? If the space battles aren't good in Space Age, I am going to complain. I'm sorry. I am. And rightfully so.
Fans.
It's awesome. The space battles need to be cool. And I do think they're going to be very cool. There's no way Brandon does not think about all the toys he has and how the space battles are not going to be cool. I have faith.
I don't know how dragons fly in space, but like, if they don't, I'm going to be unhappy.
That's a good point.
Spiritual realm.
Magic.
Spiritual realm.
Magic. Magic.
Laser jets.
They release investiture backwards. Right? Thrust. Easy. We don't know how the energy is being released. It doesn't have to be through solely the mouth. You know?
It can go backward. Jet engine.
They farted out, guys.
It's a jet engine.
This is good. I think this is good.
No, in all seriousness, I feel like there's an aspect of this which is, hey, if you are like, Brandon obviously wants like traditional dragons in his books, right? These are, the dragons that we see are not like weird dragon-like creatures. Like, they are the traditional fantasy dragon, and that is very much by design and by intent. And so if you don't give your traditional fantasy dragons a breath weapon, what are you doing?
What are we doing here? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I admit it's a little weird that it's not fire. But if it's more versatile than fire, or more, if they breathe magic, right?
Yeah. Like I'm thinking it's like pure magic type thing. Yeah. Also, here's the reason it's not fire, because he can't use that in space.
Yeah, I did have that thought.
Good point.
I did have that thought.
There you go.
You think about that.
We'll come back to this in 20 years.
We will review the era. I mean, it might be more than 20 years, guys, for the space battles. Because we got to do Stormlight and then Dragonsteel, then space battles.
Yeah, but we might get like a standalone.
Brandon will not be able to stop himself writing random Space Age stuff. Sunlit Man and Emberdark teach us.
No,
well, I mean, even Tress and Yumi. Yeah. Oh, he loves it. I do want to talk a bit about the soothing and rioting, though, because they do have these connections, and I find that very interesting. I love the religious feel of it, where it's like, the followers are praying to them, and the dragons can influence them, motivate them. I just like that fantasy flavor. I feel like we don't get too much of that in the Cosmere. I love that a lot.
Yeah, it gives a like personal touch to religion.
Yeah,
where like a follower like can get a tangible reaction from their belief.
Yeah,
and it's not just followers, right? Starling notes that her instinct when she sees the stranded irreality is to like take away their fears and anxiety and like bolster them.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's like either easier or more powerful if there's like a stronger connection.
Or like it can be done remotely. Like sure. I don't think Starling could just like randomly soothe a random person in the Cosmere. Like she wanted to do like she could do the Iriali if she did not have manacles,
Yeah.
of course. She could do them because she saw them,
because she's
Yeah,
there.
like directly.
Yes.
Whereas you need like
Whereas,
a
like-
Temukek to, yeah.
Yeah, like whereas like the followers like can be done remotely.
Yeah.
Because there is an alternate connection
Yeah.
rather than just sight.
And presumably the bone phone operates on similar, if not identical, principles.
The bone phone being the Temukeks. Not 2 words, which was a surprise to me. That was the biggest Emberdark
that's a new development.
plot twist here. That's clearly the most exciting thing in the book.
I find this very interesting, given the similarity to emotional allomancy. Just like seeing that show up as like another ability out
I
there.
really like
Because
that.
we know there is different abilities are going to show up time and time again. Like this is the first time emotional allomancy has shown up in a different guise.
Yeah, I always kind of felt with like the Knights Radiant, it was interesting that there wasn't anything like that. And so we've just been on Roshar so much that it's nice to see like, oh, hey, it's that. That's cool. Because I do really like emotional allomancy. And so this is a cool, different manifestation of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, there's a little bit of that in Roshar because we do see the Fabrio that can detect emotions. I think that's from the Way of Kings or Words of Radiance. And so clearly there is, something somewhere within the surges that has access to that. Because emotions are, in the same way that like perception is, emotions are a thing in the Cosmere.
Yes.
You can tug on them or you can push and pull on them with the metallic arts. You can. There are spren that literally feed on them.
Yeah.
And so, because the surges are presented to us as here is the full suite of cosmological powers, emotion has to be somewhere in there. We just don't know where.
I'm going to disagree with you there. I'm going to agree with you for a very short section, and then I'm going to disagree with you.
Slight correction.
Okay, I have to agree first.
Yes,
You
because
see that point.
there is something with light weaving making people better versions of themselves.
Yes.
That like, okay, I can see some thematic things here. But mostly, I just don't think emotion affecting is part of like the suite of powers that is surge binding.
So I'm gonna jump in with Rhythm of War, Renarin.
Okay, cool, great.
Okay.
Wow, you're ready to go.
Yeah, I had that one
Okay, all right.
go in there. But when he shows up and he helps Kaladin fight with Moash.
Ooh,
Yes.
in like chapter 18, 19 or like
Something around there.
or that fight
it was
in
the
part
one.
preview chapters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that for the same reason, there is not a one-to-one parallel between Aethers and the 10 Essences. They're both talking about like the primal elements of the Cosmere, but like there's not one-to-one correlation between the two.
Sure.
They each theoretically contain something the other does not, potentially. Ergo, I think among the surges being like the fundamental forces or like the primal powers of the Cosmere, that there is more beyond those 10.
Counter, I think surge binding is more limited than the pure power of the surges. In other words, I think there is emotion somewhere within the surges. I think surge binding as an arcana is excluded from that. It
Which
doesn't.
surge binding?
Whichever surge binding you would like.
Okay.
See, this strays into philosophy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
Because obviously, like, the 10 essences philosophically are just based on, like, the soul casting abilities of the 10 pull stones.
Yeah.
But, like, that's not the be-all, end-all. The surges, in turn, are based on the abilities of the
Heralds.
Knights Radiant. Yeah. Like, culturally speaking, like, that's where the idea of surges comes from. Rather, so, like, it's a physical... In-world arcanists would disagree on whether or not things not part of the surge binding power set can be considered part of the surges.
I see.
I will say, while we're completely off the rails, which is great, that I do think it is plausible that we could have some Fabrial influence emotions.
Yes. I would not consider that part of the surges.
That's inconceivable to me, but okay.
I feel quite comfortable in my brain that, like, there is a difference between, like, surge Fabrials and, like, regular mechanical Fabrials.
I think all Fabrials have to operate within the realm of surges, because the realm of surges is the realm of magic that is available to Roshar.
Disagree. Because I would argue the spread existed before the surges were necessarily, or the magic system exists the way it does on Roshar.
The magical effects that the
Fabrials are
Spren
based on the
had with the
Spren.
singers. Are those surge binding?
Is that the same?
To be clear, I don't necessarily disagree with you, Evgeni, but it is very funny. What is surges? What is surges?
I'm just
surge
waiting
binding?
for somebody to bring this up on the Discord server and to me to have no idea what they're talking about. Point to you fans. If you bring up something from a Shardcast episode, you gotta give us context because we're not gonna remember what
That's
you're talking
very true. There are YouTube comments with a timestamp and they're like having an opinion and I'm like, am I gonna go re-listen to what we said? Like, I have no idea. And the answer is no, I'm not going to do that usually.
No, like, if you put a timestamp, you're a good person.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
If you
In
just
YouTube,
Yeah,
make an
please.
offhand comment where I don't know what you're talking about.
that's true. That's
Give
true.
me a means to, like, know what I'm talking about.
In Discord, it's harder to give the direct YouTube's timestamp that you can just click and go to the things. So.
Yes.
Do you have any response to that, Evgeni? you're stewing there.
Not at the moment.
Okay, good.
And because we are so far off the rails, I don't feel compelled to work through this problem in real time.
Great. I'm
Maybe we
glad
should,
to be
means
in
I
the...
win.
Maybe we should talk about dragons, guys.
Yes.
No, and so I want to end this by talking about Dragonsteel itself. We should probably do that.
Disambiguate.
Yeah, which one?
Good point. That's a good
You
point.
mean Brandon's sword from his wedding?
Did he really call that Dragonsteel? Like the sword is the name?
So like I know there's two swords. He got one. Well, I think his whole groomsmen each
I think
got
they
one or
did,
something.
yeah.
But like he had a sword and Emily got a sword.
Yes.
One of them is named Dragonsteel. One of them is named Lightsong. I'm pretty sure Brandon's is Dragonsteel.
Okay.
And Emily's is Lightsong.
And so
That feels right.
Yeah, because Warbreakers wrote on Honeymoon, right? Wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about the company Dragonsteel, the convention Dragonsteel, the book series. Do you have any others?
There's like 7, dude.
You're talking about the storefront?
The storefront Dragonsteel books.
Dragonsteel books. Yeah.
That's part of the country. Or the company.
Office Dragonsteel.
Yes.
The Dragonsteel's webpage, which is dedicated to sales and discounts.
That's all part of the company. I don't think those are distinct entities. Anyway, no,
Fair.
I'm talking about the metal that is on the dragons themselves. Obviously, like it's literally on. It's on them. There you go. That's my
There you
opener.
Yeah, it seems to be a metal that naturally grows or coalesces on like the talons, the claws, the horns. So like I think of it as, you know, essentially wherever you would have, you know, in my head, hair and nails belong in
Keratin.
the same category. Is the chitin?
Yes, they're both keratin.
Yeah.
Oh, keratin, not chitin. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the equivalent of keratin, but you know, magic and for dragons.
And dragon steel's like super strong, like supposedly indestructible stuff. That's from Dragon Steel Prime, but I think that's still the case.
Yeah,
It is.
fun fandom history. Dragonsteel Prime, where the Shattered Plains originally come from,
Mhm.
like the different plateaus were each centered on like a well of dragon steel that like seeped into the ground and made it indestructible.
And then it was eroded around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
And the Dragonsteel wells are referenced in Emberdark.
Yep.
So that's part is still a thing. Just in what context, we have no idea, because the Shattered
Yeah.
Plains will not be on Yolen.
And Dragonsteel Prime has all kinds of properties of Dragonsteel too.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows how many of them are going to be
Yeah,
moved over to Cosmere.
most notably, in Prime, Dragonsteel has you can shape the metal with your thoughts, like presumably with your intent, right?
Sure.
Kind of when you like the first person to do
'Cause, like,
so like locks it into shape forever.
Yeah, like it emerges from the wells as a liquid. You can take that liquid, think at it, and turn it into a thing, and then it will stay that thing forever.
And the reason it's so valuable is you get like a sword you never have to sharpen.
Yeah, it indestructible, right? Also, rare resource that's valuable in and of itself. In Emberdark, we learn that they use Dragonsteel supports for the impossibly tall skyscrapers of Silverlight.
Yeah. So it's basically indestructible. Presumably with 5 shards, you could deal with it, but basically indestructible.
I
And
got this mental
probably
image now.
relatively light for its size, given that they have to fly while covered in metal.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they're covered. I think it's like the equivalent of jewelry.
Well, like it's kind of like it. Like it's not actually covered, but it is over like a lot of them. So
There's a decent amount.
Yeah.
It's
Like, you
not
can
like
see
a
the
super
Dragonsteel.
dense heavy metal. We know that much. And like that just makes sense for supports, building supports. Like you want that to be light but strong.
So I got this.
Yeah. Mhm.
I got this mental image with the building supports. Now we're talking about Dragonsteel being like keratin, of the dragons clipping their toenails and saving the clippings.
Yeah. But how are they going to clip it? It's indestructible.
It's indestructible. You never need to clip them.
There you go.
They have to think about their nails falling off.
Every 5 years, like 5 shards get drafted to go around and clip off the dragon's toenails.
And really, Race just got really angry that he just kept having to do this. It's like, oh my god.
It's like jury duty, but for the shards.
This is why we killed Aiden Alcium, but now we're just having to do Aiden Alcium because we have to fix Aiden Alcium's bad design.
Raze was tired of feed stuff.
There you go. I did. This is kind of off track, but related. If Dragonsteel does have to be light, but I also don't think, given the size of the dragons, that biomechanically the wings would be sufficient for flight. Meaning
No, that's fair.
they need some sort of magical propulsion. So I do think they could fly in space.
I saw that coming a mile away.
No, because dragons don't make sense in reality. You can't like this thing cannot fly.
No. So we need some. So I think we can have the dragons somehow fly in space. Will the wings be useful at all? No. But it is very funny to think about. Guess the wings can just slap
I think
people.
can be explained by like some amount of their weight being ignored by gravity. That's a normal ability in the Cosmere.
Sure.
Yeah, that's true.
And then like it is their wings propelling them.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Dragon
Which doesn't
Larkin
work
space
in-
battle.
What, Bonnie?
Dragon Larkin space battle.
There we go. Now we're talking. But don't the Lancerin need to breathe? Is the thing.
Do
How
they?
much do they
That's
need to
why they need to be paired up with a
Windrunner.
windrunner who can bubble of air.
Nice.
I was going to say, I was doing the math of like, okay, who's the other one with adhesion? No, Budsmith is going to be doing this. It's going to be a windrunner.
Well, I mean, Dalinar was kind of on investiture duty for a lot of Rhythm of War.
He's just like, I gotta feel the stuff.
I'm here to be the gas attendant.
It's a good thing it wasn't in Space Age where Dalinar's just like, I have to fuel so many of these spaceships, guys. It's
I'll
taking
just stand here, guys.
forever.
All right, everyone, come over here.
Yes. Wow. We got through 2 of how many of our sections? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those other 2 sections don't matter. So anyway, we got through 2 sections of our document. And I really thought that, we thought we would need to pad time with the show and tell, but that was not a problem, actually.
Also, Mr. Eric, I don't know how good the flow of this episode is going to be.
I wasn't sure. Unlike from years ago where I just would like half-ass an outline 11 p.m. the night before, like trying to make it a little more high effort. And thank you, Bonnie, for helping a lot with this outline and things, because I got progressively more nervous here. But I want the show to be good, and I didn't see the vision. But it turns out it was space battles in spiritual realm and total nonsense.
I feel like it is not good outlines that make good episodes. It's
good banter, good tangents.
It is yes, which is incentivized by bad outlines.
The fans are here for us to slowly descend into insanity during an episode.
Well,
slowly is optional.
Well, you guys, over this next month, you'll get to do that because we're going to end this episode now. We're going to talk about the rest of the dragon stuff in our outline in the next episode. And, right. But first we got to do, who's that Cosmere character?
This character is from Roshar.
Menace. Tien.
Tom.
Braze.
Void in drag on a horse.
It's time for Who's That Cosmere Character? Caw. All right, coming to you, definitely not edited in significantly later in the day. Welcome to Who's That Cosmere Character, the game show where you send 5 clues in a character to WTCC at 17char.com. I read each clue aloud, and after each clue, these guys have a chance to guess who's that Cosmere character. And this first one is sent by Kingstar114. In clue 1, this character is a parent.
Is that
2 words? 2
words.
Yeah.
The Storm Father.
It is not the Storm Father.
I'll take Dalinar.
It is not Dalinar.
The sibling.
It is not the sibling. That's very good. I like that. Clue 2, this character has a named spouse.
That actually does narrow
That narrows it down.
Iodon.
It's not Iodon.
Do we know the name of Silence's husband?
Yes,
Yes.
we do. It's William.
Silence.
It is not Silence. We read it for the Threnody episode, so I actually remember that.
Is it Kanye?
Also, his daughter is named after him.
Well, that's the bit that I didn't remember. Like I remember William Ann, but I couldn't remember.
What'd you say, Bonnie?
Kanye?
No. I'm not going to repeat that either. Clue 3. This character cannot access any invested art.
Sucks to be them.
Yep, it does. Further narrowing things down.
Parent name spouse cannot access any invested arts.
Mhm.
Not Dalinar's wife, right?
Which one? What's your guess?
You have not guessed that.
What do you want to guess?
The first one. Evie, right?
Yes. No, it is not
First
Evie.
Oh, I thought I had it for a second.
That is true. That's true. That definitely does match the clues.
Serini.
It is not Serini.
Not a parent yet.
Okay.
I feel like if she shows up on screen pregnant, she
I think
counts
that
as
counts.
Yeah.
parent.
Yeah. That's a valid point.
Kenton's mom.
Ooh, it is not Kenton's mom. True. Clue 4. This character planned to kill one of their family members.
Although, would you count star marks as an invested art? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Acidon.
It's not Acidon. That's a good one. That's quite good.
What's
Oh wait, no, she accesses investiture.
Shalon's dad?
Not Shalon's dad. Not Lynn.
Lindevar is his name.
Is there any fanfic of a Lynn Chana romance when their relationship was good? Because I kind of want to read it. Put your
find out.
comments below. No, stay focused, Evgeni. Stay focused. We got stuff to do.
Planned to kill another family member.
Yes.
Parent, no invested arts, named spouse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, no, never mind.
Wow, you backed away from I know instantly.
Because I was like, oh, Kai. Wait, no, that was on your guess. Oh.
That's never stopped me before, Ian.
Except I actually remember things, Eric, and know what's been guessed.
I'm just focused on my thoughts, and I'm not paying attention to the other people saying things. And when I play Who's That Cosmere Character?
Oh, we don't know the name of Ellen's mom, do we?
I do not believe so.
Because I was gonna guess Strauss,
Unless you count Diceborn as canon, which
I do. I do not.
What if Matt snuck it in there in this adventure? That'd be very funny.
Not impossible, right?
it's plausible. Probably not, but
I think I have a guess that I discounted earlier.
okay.
But
Clue 5 will be helpful.
what's the clue about the invested arts or whatever?
This character cannot access any invested art. Okay.
I want it on the record. in case
Okay.
I'm right.
That's fair.
Before I get this fifth. You don't have to tell me whether or not that's correct, Eric.
Okay. You just wanted it noted.
I wanted it noted.
Yeah, okay. Note it is noted.
And either it will be my guess or I'll change my mind with
Yes.
this fifth clue.
Sure.
But if I don't, then I want the credit.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Okay, and that's everyone then, right? Yeah. Clue 5. This character named their only child after themselves.
Tantalin?
Nope, it's not Tantalin. I will say I absolutely did not know that this character's spouse was named, but they are named.
Promising.
It's a fact. No. You'll know who this character is, but the wife, I had no idea. So
Characters named after a parent.
No, that doesn't match what you just said. I just thought of somebody, but that doesn't fit.
no. This is very specific.
It's definitely not the person I messaged.
No, I
Eric.
know. Ian messaged Corvellium.
Oh, nice.
Because she's a dragon.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they
yeah.
can't access stuff.
What is
She
an
has a
invested
named
art?
sibling. Like she tried to kill a family member in that all of the shards are siblings.
That's some technical stuff that
Well, this is much more specific.
Yes.
Let me look at my books here.
Okay. Sure. Would it help?
Oh, it's wax.
It is not wax.
Oh wait, no, he can use invested darts.
It's
also
not
his
wax.
wife, famously very named.
Yeah,
That's
no.
what I-
Well,
yes,
yeah.
you know?
That's the bonus one of that. Like I did recognize
That's
this
true.
character's
I'm like
spouse, yes.
Waxilium, Maxilium. I made the mistake of looking.
That's
directly at
where
the
I was, and I
hospital.
was like, no, that doesn't work.
Oh wait, famously uses many lots of investiture
All of them.
Mm.
and slight misborn now. Well, no,
Oh. Wait, no, that was gas. Never mind. What was naming their child after themselves?
Only child.
this character
Only
named
child.
their only child after themselves.
Because I just went down the rabbit hole of like Renarin's name meaning born unto oneself, and I'm like, oh, it's Evie. Wait a second.
Also,
No, there's- I think you are.
famously named.
I think you are looking for shenanigans where I don't think there are any. I think we are just being purely outclassed by this question,
yeah.
fair and square.
I mean, do you guys want to pass?
Is it? I'm gonna take one last guess. Is it?
Okay.
We got no invested arts.
No invested arts. Well,
Yeah, no
wasn't phrased
invested
exactly
art.
like that.
Only child
Yep. Is a
named after
parent.
themselves.
Has
is
a
a
named
parent.
spouse.
Is this? I'm gonna take a guess here. Is this from Tress Charlie's dad?
No, it's not Charlie's dad.
No,
The Duke.
The
the
Duke.
Duke.
I am looking askance at Tress though.
Okay. Well,
I
Evgeni's last
I
up.
think
Are you done?
no, I guess Tenelin.
Oh wait, so you all guessed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it is Jedal Spook's dad.
Oh,
Terrible.
And
Yeah.
his mom is named.
his mom is shockingly named and is named Margle.
That's incredible. That
that
feels
is
like
very
someone hit the random button on the Coppermind until they found a page that's like 2 sentences.
this
and it's
no. This article has far more sentences and more citations than you'd expect. Good
like,
sir.
oh, is it some annotation stuff where
1,
Brandon talks about his
2,
dad
3,
and like
4, 5, 6, 7. There's already 7 sentences. There's a whole other beefy paragraph here. So good sir. Nice. Well, I'm editing this in significantly later, and we're very tired. So that's all for this one. And so now, you can find us on 17char.com for all your news, discussion, theories, and fun that you could ever want. You can support our Patreon for as little as $1 a month. It's pretty great. You can join our Discord server, discord.gg/17shard. Oh, the Patreon's at patreon.com/17shard. I'm already screwing this intro up, and we haven't even done the second episode. So great.
look, if you are incapable of, based on our entire branding being 17th shard, if you are incapable of finding our things that are also called 17th shard, then maybe internet literacy is a subject you need
I will
to
just
focus
say
more
the
on.
links are all in the description. I don't feel as Evgeni does, and I think you're all smart, beautiful people. That you should definitely support the Patreon. We have fun art polls and stuff. And yeah, we will see you all next time for yet more dragon stuff. Because that's how this came out to be. Bye.
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 Caw.